Hey, you've been doing low carb for a while and you're saying, I don't have enough recipes? I say, pshaw. Go check out Anna Vocino. She's got eathappykitchen.com. You will find not only sauces and powders to make all sorts of delicious foods, but there are cookbooks. Eat Happy and Eat Happy Too. So I don't want to hear, I don't know what to eat when I go low carb. Go check out all of that right now and on with the show. Welcome to the Friday show. Today we will run a best of. About a year ago, we ran a show that happened early in this podcast, well over 2,500 shows ago. It was me and Anna Vocino, and we had a guy on who was a fruitarian. His name was Michael Arnstein. Well, we ran that show last year, and I get more requests to repeat that show than any other show we've ever done. So on this Friday, enjoy one more time Best of with Anna Vocino and Michael Arnstein.
Thanks for listening to Vinnie Tortorich on NSNG Lifestyle Audio. Welcome to Fitness Confidential One-on-One. Vinnie Tortorich, founder of NSNG, goes long form with top luminaries in the field of health and fitness.
Hey guys, it's Anna again, here to tell you about Villa Capelli olive oil. The place where I stayed in Italy 2 years ago is Villa Capelli. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, and I got to taste the oil firsthand and watch them make it. And that's the reason why they became sponsors. Well, because, Vinny and I barked at them, and then they did. Make sure you go buy some Villa Capelli olive oil. Go to VinnieTortorich.com. Click through the Villa Capelli banner ad right there on the home page. You're going to do your shopping, buy some olive oil, maybe some sun-dried tomatoes, and you're going to get 10% off by putting the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, in the discount code box. You know how to online shop. Come on. If you're listening to a podcast, you know how to online shop. Go buy some Villa Capelli olive oil. Enjoy the show.
He's Hollywood's go-to guy for health and fitness. And now, America's angriest trainer, Vinnie Tortorich, with co-host Anna Vocino.
Why am I America's angriest trainer? Your good intentions have been stolen, and I'm here to help you get them back.
All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get somebody on the phone who needs to talk to you. You don't know. This is a surprise.
All right.
Actually, I have him on hold waiting already.
All right. And go. All right.
You don't even know because you remember how we were talking about the whole Mussolini thing?
Yeah.
Let's just bring him on the show.
Mussolini and I are friends on Twitter.
At Real Mussolini, and you are friends.
How many friends does Mussolini have now?
I'm friends with him, too.
So two?
Yeah.
He's got two friends?
He's got two friends.
Okay.
Here's the person behind the Real Mussolini.
Go on.
Andrew Weaver.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Benny.
Hey, yo, you go take care of that guy with that thing with that guy in that place?
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, okay.
You told me to go over to the place and do the stuff with the thing.
I gotta see that guy.
Yeah, these two dudes walked in, and I took care of one of them and let the other one go, like you said.
Okay, well, we don't got to say much on the phone,
No, everything is said.
I got to get the papers.
Get the papers.
Anyway, how did this Mussolini thing come about? There's something that you guys cooked up, right?
Well, he cooked it up. I just backed him up.
Well, don't give me too much credit because you guys said on the show. See, I don't think you remember what you said on the show.
Oh, I have no idea.
There was so much on
we
the
don't know. We're going to forget this as soon as we hang up.
Yeah, after the show, if you asked me what we talked about, I couldn't tell you.
Well, the show that aired while you guys were in Vegas, you had recorded back before Christmas.
Yeah, probably a month.
Right. So you said in that show that Anna was already starting to bust your chops about retweeting.
He has an addiction.
No, it's not an addiction. Wait, hang on. In my defense, Andrew, I was told that by Howie, who knows nothing about anything apparently, that the way you get popular on Twitter is you interact with your audience. So if I read something that's positive, I either retweet it or favorite or do both.
or respond. You respond a lot, too.
I do respond. I reply.
You do all of that, but then you also do this weird thing of retweeting, like 10 threads down on the conversation. You'll retweet every single part of the conversation to where it makes no sense to anyone in your feed.
So you're not supposed to do that?
No.
You see, I still don't really get it.
I don't even get it either, Vinny. And the problem is some people live on Twitter all the time. So if you respond to something 2 hours old, it's like, oh, dude, we're over that. And you don't sit and live on your phone. So I've seen you'll look at your Twitter feed and you'll go blast through a bunch of retweets.
It's a flurry. It's a flurry with him. But did I say you'll retweet
so you
anyone?
You're the one. You said on the air. You said you would retweet Mussolini, or maybe Vinny said it.
I think Vinny said it.
Vinny said I would retweet Mussolini. So I'm driving in my car. I'm listening to that. It's the 6th. It was Monday, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing as soon as I get home. So I get home. I get to my desktop, and I look to see if anybody's claimed real Mussolini yet, and nobody had claimed it.
I can't believe no one's claimed
That's crazy.
Because that's some ripe comedy fodder right there.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's well known as like Hitler.
No, he didn't get
Hitler,
the kind.
Stalin were the big two. Mussolini, you got to kind of know a little more.
Well, I've always said that a squirrel is just a rat with a good, PR person. And, Hitler got the good PR person. Stalin, good PR person. Mussolini, not so much. They kicked his head down the street when they killed him.
Did they? They decapitated him and played soccer?
Yeah,
they
kicked
football?
him. I think that's what they did. It was something like that. Or they just stomped his body through the streets of Italy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It didn't go. It didn't go well for him.
Well, that's why he needs to tweet, because he needs to tell his side of the story.
Well, yeah. So, and not the only thing I know about him, the old joke is, and my wife's part Italian, so I should know more about Italian history. Her mother's taking her there this year. So anyway, all I know is that the old joke is, hey, I got some old World War II Italian rifles to sell. Never shot and only dropped once. I don't even know if that's funny.
Yeah,
because they switch sides. Like in 5th grade, I laughed at
sides.
Yeah. So in 5th grade, I had no idea what that meant, but I laughed anyway. The French didn't switch sides; they just got.
They just bent over. I mean, they
did bend over. You're right.
They didn't even make rifles in France. They just made white flags.
Maybe that joke was supposed to be the French rifle. I
think it's because I think Italian took 10 minutes before they gave up.
They did. They took a little bit of time.
As lunch. I mean, we've done what we could do.
They switched sides. Mussolini went to exile, and then they got him back, and then they rolled his head down the street.
Yeah. Well. On January 2nd, you retweeted Mussolini, Vinny.
Yeah.
And you didn't know.
But I saw it. And I went, obviously this is a joke, because I looked at him with the real Mussolini. He only had like 3 followers. So I went,
and I was one of them, and Andrew Weaver was the other.
I went, okay, obviously this is a joke, but I want in because I want to be friends with Mussolini. As a matter of fact, he had a hot granddaughter or great-granddaughter at one point that was part of Italian Parliament. I think his name was Alessandro or Alexandra.
Probably ended in an A. Unless
Alexandra,
it was a dude looks like a lady.
We need to look that up because she back in the 80s or 90s when she was in Parliament, she was kind of hot. She didn't grow the Italian girl mustache yet.
Andrew Weaver, will you do me a favor and will you keep that Twitter stream going because I think it's really funny. Kind of like the senile Don Draper, which is one of my favorite Twitter feeds.
Thank you for recommending that. I love that Twitter feed.
And I don't know who it is. Usually I know who it is behind these things. I make it a point to know. Like I knew who it was the BP Cares. One was my friend Josh Simpson, who was working at Funny or Die at the time, created the BP Cares fake publicity thing. I might have just outed him. I don't know. But he has
Good, Anna.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I
actually got senile Don Draper to respond to one of my tweets. It was a couple of days ago. I thought I came up with a pretty clever joke on my own account, not the Mussolini. I've tweeted out, isn't Polar Vortex Don Draper's nickname for Betty?
Ooh, good one.
Because she's cold. Yeah. So then he
she's frigid, bitches.
Yeah,
Because
I'm always going for the meta stuff.
Hey, Reverend, I have a question. How is your podcast coming?
I was just going to lob that softball.
I got worried when you called me Reverend. Like, uh-oh. You didn't introduce another racist character right before I came on, right?
No,
not this time.
Not yet.
Not this time. I was glad to be mentioned on the last show with the same show as Bob Babbitt. I was in really good company.
But wait, can I tell you something?
Please.
Look, Anna, look at this note. What is that name right there at the bottom?
Paul Robeson?
Yeah, because I was going to do some Old Man River with this episode. So
Yeah, he's that singer.
I was singing on the way here this morning, and I said, I'll probably do some Paul Robeson.
Are you going to be on Iron Man Year One, which is a wonderful podcast, co-hosted by Andrew Weaver and John Harris? I almost said Smith. See, I almost want to say Smith.
He's
going to be. He's always mad at me. They're both going to love it.
But by the way, not for nothing, but I'm going to be on Bob Babbitt's show tomorrow night. But that's going to precede this airing, right? Yeah, of course.
But Iron Man Year One is what we're talking about.
I know, but I was bragging about the fact that I got invited onto Bob Babbitt's show.
Anyway, Andrew.
So yeah, well, John. So yeah, we have to plug that podcast because John Harris and I, we put our heads together, and we met through the whole No Sugar No Grains community. We're through Vinnie Tortorich fandom. We're super fans, and fanboys if we're really honest. So we started a podcast.
Young men.
No, he's 50. I'm 41.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we've both been blogging for a while. And, I mean, my blog is Doughboy to Iron Man. His blog is Fat Slow Triathlete. I said, we're like brothers from another mother. We're like the same guy, just living in different places. And so I said, do you think, you mentioned podcasting. I like talking. But I like podcasts that are two people a lot better than just one person.
Yeah.
So I said, what do you think? So we said, let's just get it off the off the ground on the air, and let's see what happens. And I think we had a built-in, early, I won't say fan base, but people would at least check us out in our Facebook group from Vinnie Tortorich's No Sugar No Grains. It's 2,500 people. So we started out right away with at least 100 people downloading the first few episodes.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so we've already done 13 episodes. And Vinnie, we on purpose did not want to bug you about being on our podcast right away. We wanted to establish ourselves, and now we're going to call in the Papa Bear and see if you will come and be a guest on our show.
Yeah, they use me as the shill for an early episode.
Oh, yeah. I was actually upset. Anna goes, because Anna's doing podcasts now. And I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't get invited. They invited you, but they didn't invite me.
We thought we'd be the ones in this realm to invite Anna before you.
Thank you.
We just had Ben Greenfield on.
But you had him before me? Who else? Did you have 30 Bananas guy? How many other people did you have before me?
I just tweeted about him, but Mussolini just tweeted about him, though.
I know, I saw that, and I was going to write back, but Anna turned the mics on.
Mussolini and Durian Rider could be friends.
Well,
he's my guy.
Mussolini switched sides, so I decided he's going to switch sides from Vinny to Durian Rider.
So Mussolini's now Fruitarian?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. We'll see where the mood goes.
I guess I could say this now.
We're going to have him on in a few minutes, in an hour. We're going to call him back. But it'll be moments after we hang up with Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew, so you're getting this, the audience is hearing this. But anyway, Michael Arnstein is coming on today.
The Fruitarian who was on CNN with Sanjay Gupta.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear your debate.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not going to hammer the guy or anything. I just want to have him on and ask. Of course, I'm going to ask the one question that Sanjay Gupta could never seem to ask. How do you eat 30 pounds of fruit and vegetables a day, raw? Which I think is not well. If it might not be physically impossible if you're doing like a frat type of initiation, I'm sure that it could be done. But to do it day in and day out, and the fact that I've spoken to several doctors now, including Dr. X, who said that not only does she think it's idiotic, that was her words, but she thinks it's very unhealthy to try to do such a thing. So I'm just going to ask him those kind of questions. I want to know. I'm going to
sit here and cringe.
Because people ask me all the time about fruitarians, and I really don't know much about it.
Yeah, I want to find out what exactly he eats.
It's a new thing.
Like how people want to know what you eat, Vinny.
Yeah.
I want to know what this guy eats.
Yeah, he seems like a perfectly normal guy, and he runs these incredible times. I mean, those times are documented. And we talked to Zach Bitter, who got me introduced to this guy, and I just want to know what makes him tick. Bottom line.
Well, and I think you're a good one to ask him because you're not inherently hostile to a plant-based diet.
No, as a matter of fact, I tell people to go for it.
You love the vegans.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I get asked that question all the time. How do you become friends with vegans and the paleo group? And my answer is, I have no idea.
They all should hate you.
Yeah.
You have no idea how an ordained reverend is listening to your show.
That's true.
I have
Explain that one.
look. There's a woman. She's a minister to something. She's a church lady, and she says she keeps it. She had to buy earbuds because she was playing it out loud while she was doing her church work in the back room at the church.
No, you can't do that.
And kids would walk in and out. And I would start talking about lesbian this and whore that and the whole. And she couldn't have that, so she had to buy earbuds.
Yeah, just about the only podcast I'll put on while my kids are around is either Jimmy Moore or Angelo Coppola at Latest in Paleo.
Yeah.
They're cleaned up that the kids, but if they're around, I don't put you or Mark Maron or Pete Holmes or any of the other ones I listen to on.
No, Mark Maron does not mince words right at the top of his podcast.
Yeah, he goes,
No, he doesn't.
what the fuckerkins,
Yeah, what the fuck buddies,
fuck
what the-
buddy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Andrew, we just tarnished your piece.
Andrew is one of the
Wasn't
most cleverly irreverent reverends that I've ever met.
And by the way, does a good job in his community.
Very good job.
We've talked off the air. This guy's doing the Lord's work. No. Okay, pun intended. But and by the way, I think your podcast with John is going to go really big because both of you guys. I've spoken to both of you at length. You're both extremely articulate, way more articulate than I am. And I think you guys, you're onto something. Just keep doing it.
Well, thanks, Vin. I mean, and the kind of the reasoning behind it, one of the things I want to get out of it is, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I've called you guys this early, and a lot of people have said, like, your podcast is more of a radio show, and when you get the complaints about, they get off topic, look, I can listen to the same information over and over. And I listen to some people when their book's coming out, they'll be on 5 different guest podcasts. It's the same interview over and over, and that's great. But John and I, we call the Triathlon Podcast for the back of the pack. So when you're running in a 16-minute mile at the end of a long race, you're going to talk to the people around you. You're not huffing and puffing. So what conversations do we have back there? So we will have people on our show that are average everyday people. We had our first guest was another low carb guy who was a fan of yours, Andrew Michelli.
Yeah.
He had done Ironman and then he went back and did one after losing weight through low carb, no sugar, no grains. So we want regular people like that. And there's going to be, what's nice is the list is getting longer as we have more contacts. But then we have people that are well known like Ben Greenfield. And then we had this past week we had John's personal coach, who may become my coach. To me, the whole thing about endurance sports, it's great, is how people like us who are never going to win are going to be able to not just rub shoulders with, but become friends with, and people who are on the podium, and how the whole endurance community is just so embracing from beginning to end. So I've got a guy lined up coming up who's one of the less than 10 people in the world to do a particular endurance feat. I got another friend who's going to be attempting a world record of the most miles run in 7 days. We're going to try to get him on the podcast. So, meeting people like that, and then people who have the connections like you guys have in Hollywood, that's just something I wouldn't have had outside the endurance world. So John and I want to keep that going, and then next week we'll interview somebody nobody's ever heard of, unless they're in my local running club.
And her name is Anna Vicino.
And you know what? I love this. You know what I heard from all that? It's a podcast for losers.
Nice. Well, but Vin, you gotta take some credit for that because we're basically a spin-off of your
my podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We are basically
trust me.
a coattails spin-off podcast.
We're the mommy and daddy losers.
Yeah, we're the original losers.
We have the
we're
Brady
the
Bunch
children,
of losers.
so we reflect on the parents.
As a matter of fact, as you heard in our
We're
Vegas
the Carol
show,
and Mike Brady of loser podcasts.
Yeah, we are. And by the way, we were talking about that at the podcast awards. Had we won.
Oh, we didn't want to win.
We were we're sitting there going,
please,
please
dear God,
God,
don't win.
Don't let us win. We're losers, and if we win, it's going to validate us as not being losers, which we're losers, and
Abel is way more of a winner than we are, and he needed to win. We would have felt like total jagweeds walking up there excuse me, Abel, pardon me.
Yeah.
Can you hold my purse while I go up there and accept
I got to go
this?
up there and get something that you
Can
didn't
I
get.
just say I love and hate that guy at the same time?
He's so good looking.
Oh, my God.
So
Well, not
good
just
looking.
that. And his
charming.
voice.
Yeah.
His voice is
His voice is amazing.
He's the velvet fog of this generation.
Yeah.
And then I saw a picture he put on Facebook, and in the background is not just a guitar, but it's a left-handed guitar, and I play left-handed guitar, and the guy's a
he's
great
a
musician. I'm like,
yeah.
So he's a white
so
Jimi Hendrix.
You are, you're a good musician, you've got an amazing voice, you're smart, you're good-looking as hell, and you're amazing with your shirt off.
And he's 30.
I hate you.
And on top of that,
totally hate you,
hang on, Rev. On top of that, he's got the smokingest ass hot girlfriend you've ever seen. Yeah. And by the way, exactly the right height for him, because he's not a tall guy. And she's perfectly
height proportional.
You look at them, they look like Ken and Barbie. They really do.
Yeah, they do.
I bet he's got the confidence so he could date a woman that's 6'8" and it wouldn't faze him a bit.
I just pray that his cock is really small. I went to bed at night. You know, Rev. I'm not a praying guy.
But you'll pray about that.
I begged. I said, if there is a God, please
let Abel's cock.
Let him be hung like an M&M, please. Please,
I can't say that's going in my prayers today, but you have at it, man.
Well, it's all right. He already took care of it. No, we love Abel and his tiny cock.
Yeah, small cock, Abel, cock burning man. He has no cock left.
Yeah, I think that might be my cue. But yeah, so
on that note, we do have to wrap it up because we have to get Estelle Hayes on the line.
Yeah.
Well, Vinny, we'll get you on soon, and we play a particular game on our show that I'm going to modify for when you come on.
I love the game.
And it's going to be fun because half of what we do has absolutely nothing to do. Well, that's just it. It's shooting the breeze in the back of the pack. We might talk about training. We might talk about diet and fitness. We might just talk about Van Damme movies.
Ooh, which I've never seen one of. Should I watch before?
Are you kidding me? You never saw at least see Bloodsport.
Listen, let me explain something to you. I've not seen Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it was the whole Star Wars conversation.
I'm still troubled by that. Really troubled.
I'm going to put it on my list. I watched Captain Phillips last night. We have all the.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
It's good, right?
Yeah,
Got you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, pretty much. And everybody, the first 30 minutes is really slow. I liked the whole thing. The only thing I didn't like was the opening scene with he and Catherine Keener.
Why did Catherine Keener play that role? You barely even saw her face.
Well, here's the thing. You could tell that they knew that they had to develop some kind of home life for him, and the movie was already in the can.
Right.
And they said,
let's get Catherine Keener in there.
Get Catherine Keener. Is she on the lot today? Just grab her. Let's throw him in the car and have him do. And you could tell they were almost improving it. It just didn't fit the rest of the movie.
Fit. You're right.
And I was almost out right there. I almost went, okay, I'm done. And because I'm the biggest Catherine Keener fan. I want to do stuff to her. I've always found her very attractive.
She is, and you didn't even see. I didn't realize I was like, why is her voice so familiar? Because she has a really familiar voice. And then they finally showed her face, and I was like, oh, awesome, that's Catherine Keener. And then she didn't show up for the whole rest of the movie.
That was it.
So I was like, well, where's Catherine Keener?
And I told Serena right there. I said, you know what? They realized at the end of the movie they needed to give him some sort of.
There's a reshoot thing.
And because he didn't even look the same in that scene as he looked in
the movie.
Yeah.
We have to go. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, Andrew. Go. Okay, so have Vinny on your show, and then we'll promote it.
And go ahead and
Iron Man
plug
Year One.
Yeah, plug it.
Is the podcast. Doughboy to Iron Man is the blog.
And Fat Slow Triathlete.
And Fat Slow Triathlete is John Harris's blog.
We're trying to start a website just for the podcast, but I don't know how that's going yet.
You will.
It's streaming in iTunes. It's out there. It's available.
We'll link to you guys and all that stuff.
You're going to have to because people are going to want to look for it. It's a really good podcast. I'm on episode 6, probably their best episode.
Yeah, I won't be able to top that. So I may not go on.
If you really want to piss Vinny off, you'll ask me to do another episode before you have him on. But whatever, I'm just saying.
I don't want to poke the bear at this point.
You're right. I get it.
He said poke.
We all know what's
he said poke. I heard him.
He said, all right. Thank you, Andrew. We'll talk to you later.
Later, man.
Okay.
Take care, guys.
Bye. Hold on. Before we hold the roll, I wonder if I should even say this on the air.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Go.
I got an email from Stephen Crutchfield. They had forgotten a payment. It's all good. Villa Capelli's still they're awesome. They're like, so sorry. They just made the payment. He said Villa Capelli was approached by Jillian Michaels' manager to sponsor her podcast.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Really?
How does that make you feel? It makes me angry. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because they're trying to poach our sponsor.
Yeah.
And we have one sponsor.
So
that means they're paying attention. That means they're paying attention, too.
Let's think about this for a second. Who's listening to who? Look, I tried to listen to Jillian Michaels' episode.
It's excruciating.
Oh, it's like taking melatonin. I mean, as soon as you turn it on, you turn it off. Give her a due. She's made $1 bazillion lying to people, but she can put you to sleep.
What do you mean lying to people? Like changing up, odds?
Oh, calorie in, calorie out. Run, and you'll lose weight. That's all a big lie.
Oh, okay.
What they
I see
do
what
on that
you're
show is
saying.
a big
I see what you're
lie,
saying.
and she's part of a big lie. She's part of a big lie machine. But let me tell you something. Go after my sponsors, bitch. I'm going after you. You want to fuck with me? I'll fuck with you. You want to play? I've been leaving you alone lately. I can't believe you brought this up. I'm trying to make this a happy episode.
I was reading
She wants to
this.
fuck with me.
This is going to be a happy episode.
You know
with
what?
Michael
Who's her
Arnstein on it.
people? Who's her people?
We're going to find out from Steven. I'm telling you, I'm reading this thing, and my blood starts boiling while you and Andrew are talking.
You're going after my clients? Fuck you. What, Kellogg's don't want you anymore? You can't sell enough Diet Coke, bitch?
I know.
Anna, find out who these people are. I'm going after.
We should Skype with Steven later on. But we got to get Estelle on the line. We're 11 minutes late.
Go,
Talk to Estelle.
go.
All right, we'll be back.
Were we rolling that whole time?
No. We're back, though.
Okay.
I like hearing you say, well, we rolling the whole time? We're going to have Michael Arnstein on in a second, but we got to, he asked us to give him a few minutes. So I'm going to do a couple superfan shout-outs.
Anna, no, wait. I just need to be straight. All right, we did.
We just talked to Andrew Weaver. You were ranting against Jillian Michaels, and you said, bitch, don't come after me. And then we just came back, and now we're all calm because it's really an hour and a half later.
Yeah, because we ended up talking to Estelle Getty.
And she calmed you down, Estelle Getty.
Yeah. So, what's her name? Estelle Hayes.
Christopher Valenti is a super fan.
Yeah, and how did he become a super fan?
He went to VinnyTortorich.com, and he clicked on Become a Superfan, one-time contribution.
Yeah.
You can also click on Become a Superfan, recurring contribution.
Yeah.
Give a little something each month.
Most of those people give $300 a month.
Probably in the
Maybe.
$300 to $3,000 a month range.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christopher. We appreciate that. Christopher is how Dre DeMatteo would say your name in The Sopranos. Yeah. Thank you, Christopher. Carrie Standish.
A recurring superfan, right? Because I see her name.
This is a one-time, and it's like, I know.
It?
She gave an amount that's...
what was that? I saw that.
The amount equals, she gave an instruction in PayPal that says it's for the pounds that she's lost since fully committing to NSNG after reading Fitness Confidential in July.
So what's the .63 or something like that?
Yeah, it's .67, which is the 67 points she shaved off her total cholesterol by eating high-fat and veggies instead of low-fat and whole grains. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I was like, that's an odd amount. And then usually when people give odd amounts, it's always the weight. You know, they'll give us $59 or something,
right.
Or $63.
That's so great. Congratulations on the weight loss and the reduction in your cholesterol. Carrie Standish, super fan.
Yeah, and she's active in the groups.
Andrew Weaver, who we just talked to. You know what, Andrew Weaver? You're just all over the place, and we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
He's a recurring super fan.
I can't believe he invited you onto his show and not me.
Get over it.
Come on.
Dee Dee Misseltits Silverstein, who wrote an amazing blog post. I'm going to write down to link
to that.
I have peanut butter all over my page now because you won't let me finish my apple because we have to talk.
Apple and peanut butter. Because we're going to be talking to a guy that eats this 90 times a day. Yeah.
But not the peanut butter part,
no.
Right?
Well, if it's raw peanut butter, that's
that's a legume, though. It's not a fruit, right?
We're going to find out what fruitarians do. We don't know what they do. I really don't know much about them.
All right, well, we're going to find out. And hopefully you won't get too hot under the collar like you just did about Jillian Michaels.
No, I'll be good.
Dee Dee Silverstein, link to your awesome article. Everyone go check out her blog.
She talks about how she became Misseltits Silverstein.
Which, by the way, I'm the one who said Misseltits first.
Yes, you
Everyone thinks that's something you would say.
No, you came up with Misseltits, but here's the thing.
If anybody knew me, they would know. God, I'm not the same way on the air. I'm way more disgusting.
Yeah, you're horrible. You're worse than I am.
I am.
You were just talking about rubbing your finger across your...
I was talking about swirling my finger in my butthole and then swirling it in some peanut butter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, but Anna, wait. Misseltits said I had a gravelly voice and she fell in love with... Do I have a gravelly voice?
You do, kind of, yeah. Sexy, gravelly voice.
I do?
Mm-hmm. Frank Chalmers, thank you. Super fan. Recurring.
Thank you, Frank.
Really appreciate that. Hold on. I'm still... Oh, Nathaniel Webster, our chef friend.
Yeah.
He's a recurring super fan, and he's going to contribute recipes to the thing.
The more, the merrier.
His recipes are going to be way better than mine,
no,
so bring them on.
You're a good chef. You're good. You know you're
good. I'm a home cook. I'm not allowed to call myself a chef because I'm not trained in that way.
You know what? I'm calling you a chef.
All
Fuck
right.
everybody else.
Charles Williamson. Or is it Alan Williams? Charles Allen Williamson.
Sounds
Thank
like
you.
a country and western star. You
Thank
listen to that new guy, Charles Allison Williamson?
Charles Allen Williamson, Azam Al-Omer.
I lost my truck, my dog, and my wife.
And my girlfriend, and my job. Azam Al-Omer.
You know what country and
Which is the
western
coolest
music
name
does?
ever.
Country
Oh,
and
there's Michael.
country and western music is how white people learn how to live.
Hey, how
Hi,
are
guys.
ya?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
Michael Arnstein on
That's
the line.
Michael Arnstein. Mike, we've been wanting...
Thank you for ringing us. We weren't sure. We didn't want to, we wanted to give you enough time.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who we are? It's okay to say no.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
This unfortunately, I only know who you guys are through a friend who knows who you are.
Zach Bitter, right?
Yeah, Zach Bitter.
We love Zach Bitter.
Yeah, he's a listener of the show, and he was on the show, and we've been talking about you for a while. And
Are your ears buzzing?
yeah, did you even know we were talking about you?
Well, I think there's quite a few people that talk about me, some in a positive way, some in a very different way.
Well, I wouldn't say ours was positive or negative. It was a big question mark over my head as to how you do what you do. And when we found out that Zach knew who you were, I was like, oh, my God, I'd love to get this guy on the show because I need to know more about this guy. I had kind of heard of you because I'm an ultra athlete, too. I haven't done anything recently, but I've spent years and years and years making my butt very sore by riding a bicycle. And, I've done all the classics except for a Ram, pretty much. I always loved keeping up with other ultra athletes, and I knew you were out there doing some stuff. And I guess I had heard at some point that you're a fruitarian. I'm sure you know my buddy, Rich Roll, who's a vegan. He's not a fruitarian. Do you know Rich at all?
Yeah. No, I know Rich pretty well, actually.
Okay, so Rich and I, we go way back. Not way back. We probably go back 7 or 8 years, something like that. And I could have probably asked Rich to get you on my show.
Yeah, you should have done that.
I wasn't thinking. I don't know why I wasn't thinking
You
about
don't
that.
think.
But anyway, I knew you were out there. I knew you were a fruitarian. I'm confused by fruitarians because the only guy that seems to be out there waving a big flag is this 30 Bananas idiot who, how do you pay attention to that guy? He's always making all of
Well,
these.
he's just mean.
Yeah.
He's not nice, and he doesn't make it, I don't know, to me, it doesn't make it seem convincing. But
Yeah, he you look at him and you go, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to that because this guy's obviously out of his mind. Do you agree, disagree, or don't want to say anything? It's okay not to say anything because he'll come after you if you say anything. So,
No, I mean, Harley's actually a friend of mine. I think he's a very creative individual. I think
he's
generally
creative about being mean to people.
yeah, he was
Well,
very
I don't-
mean to us. He was mean to
Yeah,
Anna. Not
Yeah,
me.
I don't support his style of communication. Although
That's a good way to put it.
although it's not fair to say that it's not effective. I mean, he's a very good marketer. I think he's a genius in terms of like getting his message out. But yeah, there's a lot of damage along the way, which I don't agree with. But I think the guy is he's very successful at what he's trying to do. So I think it's I'm not saying I condone what he's doing, but I would be lying if I said I didn't want more people to be eating more fruit as the base of their diet.
I understand that.
Okay.
I can respect
But
that.
I the problem I have with him is that I don't care when people attack me. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. Nothing gets to me. But he attacked Anna, and she's just basically
Several times.
Yeah, and
I don't know why, because I don't know him.
She's an
I've never had a
innocent
conversation with
bystander.
him.
Anna
So-
came on as my co-host of this, and she was an innocent bystander. Anna's more involved now. We have a company together and we're working together. But at the time, he came after her, and for no good reason, and it really bothered me. And that's the problem I have with
Whatever.
the guy.
Moving on. Talk to Michael.
Anyway, Michael, you really came to light when we saw you on Sanjay Gupta. And the chyron that ran under your show was, this was Michael Arnstein, and he runs marathons and ultra marathons, and he's doing better times than he's ever done. And the chyron read that you eat 30 pounds of vegetation or fruits and vegetables per day. Am I saying that accurately?
I'm saying when I was running, 25 to 30 hours a week, I was definitely eating that much per day, if not more.
Wow.
So you're sticking to that claim of 30 pounds of fruit and vegetables a day?
Yeah, I really believe that it was probably that much. And if you include like the rinds of a watermelon, it was probably closer to 50 pounds.
Oh, okay. Now,
do you pickle them or do you just eat them?
I've never had.
They're really good. Put them in vinegar. They're really good.
I'm here to ask you the questions that
sorry.
Sanjay Gupta couldn't seem to ask, because he was sitting there like a schoolgirl going, "Really, Michael? You eat that much? Oh my God, Michael, you're amazing." And my question is, there's a few things that my head is buzzing with questions, so I'm going to just go one at a time. What do you eat to make up between 30 and now you're saying 50 pounds of vegetation a day? Where does that come from? What do you eat? Start me with when you start eating in the day.
Yeah, so if I'm running, 25 to 30 hours a week, and if I'm running, anywhere from, on most days I was running about 4 hours. I'd run 2 hours to work and I'd run 2 hours home. That was 5 days a week. That was my 31-mile day average run. So I'd wake up in the morning. I'd probably juice 15 to 20 oranges, Valencia oranges. Those in itself probably weighed, 10 pounds, just the oranges.
But you're not having the fibrous part, right? You're just having the juice?
In the morning, I generally juice. I'd probably eat 2 or 3. I sometimes leave my house with 2 or 3 oranges in my backpack. Get to work. I might have, 6 or 7 bananas.
But wait. I need to go back because the audience is going to hammer me if I don't ask these questions. Are you putting these oranges in like a Vitamix and crunching them up, or are you just pressing the juice out?
Yeah, hydraulic press. Okay,
so you're pressing the juice out and you're leaving all the fiber behind. You're having pretty much a sugar drink.
There's still, I guess you could say there's not as much fiber in that juice as there would be if I was eating the oranges straight.
Well, there's no fiber. You've pressed it out and you're just drinking the sugar and some ascorbic acid.
If you want to call it that, then yes, I guess that's what I was doing.
Okay, so you would have so you weren't actually having 10 pounds, because I did some quick math, and if you take the average size orange, to get 30 pounds of oranges a day, it's
hold on.
He said 10 pounds. He said 10 pounds.
Vinny, why don't we do this? Why don't we keep going through the day instead of breaking down breakfast? All right?
Okay, great. All right, I'll do that.
Okay, so you wanted to ask me what I'm eating. I'm going to tell you what I'm eating.
Okay.
I'm not giving nonsense. So I go through probably 20 oranges in the morning. Most of them juiced. A bunch of them I'd eat. Then I'd get to work. I'd have maybe 7 or 8 bananas, and I'd probably eat 2 to 3 cantaloupes over the course of maybe like an hour grazing as I'm sitting at my desk answering emails. Then just basically throughout the day until I kind of go home, I just pretty much eat, at a casual pace. I'll eat 2 to 3 cantaloupes. I might go through a 15-pound watermelon. I might have whatever's in season. It might be persimmons. I might have, 10 or 15 persimmons. Throughout the year, you've got hundreds of varieties of different fruits that are in season. So it was whatever was in, best tasting and whatever was available from the wholesalers that I would buy from. Then I'd get home at night, and I'd almost always eat at least 5 pounds of tomatoes per day with a massive, massive salad. Generally, I like romaine, or it would be kale, lots of bell peppers, just all kinds of vegetables. Sometimes I'd make zucchini pasta. I could go through 5 pounds of zucchini shredded through a like a type of blender or like a
spiralizer. Yeah.
Yeah, that really quickly. Throw an avocado in there.
Do you put olive oil on the salads?
No,
just eat it straight. Okay.
Well, I generally blend avocado if I wanted some fat, or blending in a blender makes a really creamy dressing.
Wait, say that over again, because it tapped out for a second. Avocado and what?
No, sometimes if I wanted more of a fatty dressing, I'd go with avocado, or if I wanted to go without a fatty dressing, I just go with lots of blended mangoes, and just have a massive salad where I'd sit there, read a magazine or answer emails, and probably over the course of an hour just eat, a salad that most people would think would be for maybe, 10 or 12 people. It's unquestionable that I was going through at least, 25 to 30 pounds of produce. And like I said, if you wanted, if I was eating 2 huge watermelons or other fruits that have lots of, residual weight, waste in the rind, I'm sure it's probably close to 50 pounds. I mean, I have 4 refrigerators in my house, and they were stocked. So you're talking, to a guy who's running 180 miles a week, and I went up above 200 miles a number of weeks. I'm racing 100-mile, 50-mile races on a very, very regular basis.
I was going to say, how long do you sustain it, like week per week? Like, do you think you do this like at a 3-month range at a time, or?
There was a 6-year period where I never really took a down season. I was always running over 100 miles a week. It was my transportation. You have to understand, I would run 15 and a half miles to work, and I would run 15 and a half miles home 5 days a week. And then on the weekends, I would fly out and run a 100-mile race or 50-mile race or a marathon. And I was an absolute running machine. Do I think it's optimal or even sustainable long term to eat that much food, to run that much? No, but I was in a point in my life where I wanted to do something that was absolutely phenomenal, and I wanted to see how far I could push myself. And then when I saw that the diet wouldn't fail me, it became a lot about, showing other people what's possible, eating nothing but raw fruit as a base of the diet. And I don't even have a book. I sell absolutely nothing. I've got no, special interest or anything. I mean, I'm here to say, listen, fruitarianism absolutely, without a doubt, works. It doesn't work for everybody, apparently, but it damn well worked for me, and it's undeniable. And I think that's why Sanjay Gupta was sitting there saying, how the hell could this guy do this stuff? And it's because I was really doing it.
Well, you see, that's where, I want to clear something. You keep saying was and were. So you're saying when you were running these marathons and doing these ultramarathons and you were putting in the 25 and 30 hour, because I understand a 25 and 30 hour week of exercise, and you just become, just this energy burner. You just constantly burn energy. I get that. You're saying you only did that kind of diet. I want to make that clear to the audience when you were training for these events.
Well, I'm retired from competition at this point right now, but okay. I still eat nothing but a fruit-based diet.
Okay, and that's good and fine. So one of the biggest questions I have, and I think the audience has, is by eating that much during that time period, when you're eating between 30 and 50 pounds of fruit and vegetables. Now, I did some math because I've owned some horses in my life, and horses generally weigh 1,100 pounds, a full-size horse, and they eat about 2 pounds of food per 100 pounds of body weight. So the average 1,100-pound animal only eats 22 pounds of vegetation a day, and I'm guessing you're 160 pounds tops, and you're eating 30 to 50 pounds.
I weigh 100.
Oh, you shorted out.
You cut out, Mike. Mike?
Well,
there he is.
I ate 50 pounds. I said I would go through about 50 pounds of protein. Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. We got you. We got you again.
Anyway, clear. I mean, you're getting stuck on the math a little bit too much, all right? I didn't sit there with a scale and weigh, my food before I ate it. But I can tell you right now that I know what a 15-pound watermelon weighs. I know what a 5-pound, big cantaloupe weighs. And, there's a lot of rinds and there's a lot of
I see what you're saying now. I thought you were saying you actually ate the rind, too. I see what you're saying. You're saying when you grocery shop at the store, it's the equivalent of that much food, and then you have to obviously prepare the fruit the way that you would prepare it.
I go to the wholesale.
Right.
I go to the wholesale. I buy 500 pounds of produce in 10 days, and I would go through.
Oh, my God. You needed like a pallet of oranges.
But, Michael, the question becomes, there's a lot of fiber in there, too. Were you not just crapping all the time?
Oh, yeah. Did it upset your stomach?
Yeah, I'd say, I'd be going, probably 15 times a day. Most of that just urinating. Oh. But yeah, I'd probably take probably 4 craps a day, maybe more, maybe 5.
But don't you find that unusual that, it's normal for
Vinny, it's highly, highly unusual. It doesn't even exist in humans in their diet today because nobody eats this way. I can guarantee you that if everybody started eating this way, they'd be also taking 6 craps a day. And the horses that eat a ton of vegetation also crap probably 6, maybe 10 times a day.
Oh, they crap and eat at the same time. I've seen it. It's very talented
of them.
Yeah.
It's nonstop with horses.
And I can crap and eat at the same time too. It's just it's just something that you got to do when you want to perform at a high level. So why don't we move on to the better questions rather than trying to figure out how I physically ate 30 pounds of food? Because I'm telling you, I did it and I can do it, and it's bliss.
I'm not doubting that you did it. I'm just wondering.
We want to know how,
I'm fascinated. Look, I know you're getting a little upset because I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to provoke you.
Listen, I've got no problems with constipation. That's the answer.
I can imagine.
But Vinny, that's one of the reasons I never got sick in the last 6 years is because I constantly had the cleanest, purest water running through my body. I didn't drink a lot of water. I was eating it, and I was constantly flushing my system out. And that's one of the reasons I could recover so quickly. And that's one of the reasons I never got sick, because I was always hydrated. And I was always putting fresh, clean things in my body.
Do you only make sure you buy organic? Is that how you make sure that it's the freshest, or how do you?
Yeah, I would stay away from conventional produce that is known to be,
pesticides and stuff.
Yeah,
Mike. To switch gears a little bit, I always call ultra sports a rich man, poor man sport because, over the 20 some odd years of running ultras, you either find people who are very wealthy who can afford to take the time to do it, or very poor who's living out of a VW microvan trying to make it to events. So my question is, eating 50 pounds, you said you bought 500 pounds of fruit and you can have 4 fridges full of fruit every 10 days. How expensive was that to do? Is this something that you think the normal person can do?
Or were you saving money because you weren't buying any meat or dairy or anything?
Yeah, how did that math work out? Or did you ever obviously you would have to keep track of that if you did it for 6 years. It's not an easy thing to do, right?
Yeah, guys, I apologize. Somebody was just talking to me, and I can you just repeat the question real quickly?
No, we were just talking about the economics of did you have expensive grocery bills?
Yes. So yes, this is an elitist diet, and I'm not happy about that, but it is a reality. You need to be extremely well off or extremely dedicated to spending most of your money if you can't. If you don't have a lot of resources to eat this way. It's the absolute limiting factor in anybody trying to eat a fruitarian diet is it's expensive. And that sucks, but that's just,
Right.
Food is made in our modern times for profit. It's made to sit on the shelf for as long as it needs to until it sells.
Right.
And that's why people eat that food, because it's cheap. If you want the best food, it's got to be fresh, and fresh goes bad. Fresh has got to be refrigerated. Fresh has got to move to market quickly. Fresh isn't always available, and it's an elitist diet, and it sucks. That's what it is.
Well, we can say the same thing about meat because we have
a lot of debates about that.
We have Ben Greenfield on the show several times, and we tell people get meat any way you can get meat. If you can't afford the grass-fed organic beef, then get what do what you can do, because food, perishable food, fresh food, that's the one thing we agree on, because we're not paleo people here, by the way, Mike. We actually call me the carnivorous vegan, because I believe in eating fresh fruit and vegetables and meat and fish and poultry.
But we have a wild vegan following as well as a wild meat eaters following.
And that's why we wanted to have someone like you on, because we have a crazy amount of vegans that follow us. And, we actually have some fruitarians, but we don't really know who fruitarians are and how they exist. Because
and you're putting a face on that. Hey, how did you get into this? What made you go, I'm going to try this way of eating?
I wanted to break a 2:30 in the marathon. I'd been, running pretty close to 2:40 for a couple of years, and I just wanted to see how fast I could get. And I knew the absolute number one factor was weight. It's all physics. I knew I had to get as lean as possible, how to lose body fat. So I tried high protein but vegan, vegetable protein shakes. I went on calorie restrictive diets, and I lost a lot of weight, and I did start running much faster. But I also came down with stress fractures, and I got sick, and I was also miserable because I wasn't eating enough. So I decided to try something else when I read Dr. Graham's book 80-10-10, which is eat as much as you want, but eat mostly fruit. And I tried it, and I had phenomenal success. I ran under 2:30 a number of times. My performance level went to an entirely different gear. I just became an incredible runner when I started eating this way. I still thought I'd get stress fractures. I was still worried about getting sick, and year after year, it never happened. And I just got better and better and better. I went into the ultra races. I said, how fast can I run 100 miles? How fast can I run, 24 hours? Or how far can I run in 24 hours? So I just I believe highly in fresh fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit because you need the calories, and it's that simple. It's amazing. I don't believe that you need to eat animal-based foods at all. I think a lot of times people like to argue the animal-based foods is, you need the B12 and you need this and, you need the protein. And it's like I like to also focus on, where's the argument in the discussion about the compassionate or the environmentalist in the discussion? How come people aren't more in tune with not wanting to harm other creatures that we share this world with? And I think that even if somebody told me I could run faster if I ate more meat, I wouldn't want to do it because that's just not the kind of person I want.
Yeah, but that would be like telling a shark not to eat fish.
I agree.
We are carnivores. I mean,
yeah. No, well, I disagree. I think we can eat anything. We can eat leather and survive. But it comes down to what's the best thing. And we're not sharks. And sharks, by the way, don't just indiscriminately, kill animals. They eat the animals that are either dead or that are sick and dying. And I think it's really unfair to compare, us to sharks. It's just a totally different type of animal.
But they will eat a surfer right away, no matter how well. They love to eat surfers.
Delicious surfers.
Yeah. Oh, they're so good. They get the fiber from the board.
Vinny, that was okay, Vinny. You're gonna tell me that sharks won't eat surfers?
I'm making
by the way, this, believe it or not, is also a comedy podcast.
Yeah, Mike. Listen.
Even though we've been very serious.
Yeah, because I want to get to
minutes.
and I get what you're getting at, but animals eat animals, and we're in the ecosystem. And we eat animals. It's what humans do. And by the way, I have no problem. You would be shocked at the vegan audience we have. We can actually see the numbers on that. And we don't try to turn any vegans away from being vegans.
No,
have we ever, Anna?
Never. Nor do I want to. I think everyone needs to do what feels right for them. And
that's
why we're having Michael on, because
people are always
we
shocked.
want to know what this fruitarian thing was all about.
People are shocked that Rich Roll, they go, how can you and Rich Roll be friends? It's like, because we're friends.
Yeah.
I'm okay with his veganism. He's okay with the fact that I believe in eating meat and vegetables and stay away from grains.
Well, why don't we do this? I got a question. Have you ever, a lot of people like to knock fruitarianism, but how many of those people that knock it have ever actually given it a shot, like a real shot, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, to see if they can experience what people are talking about? And very few people ever do that. They just like to punch holes in things, but they don't ever like to really, put it up and try it and give it a shot.
Well,
I was...
Go ahead.
I didn't think it was going to work. When I read 8-10-10 by Dr. Doug Graham, I laughed out loud. I thought it was ridiculous. You understand?
Well, something made you want to try it.
But, Mike, you are part of the 20, because I've had this conversation with Timothy Noakes right on this podcast, and also I've talked to, who's the guy? Gary Taubes, and I've talked to some of the leading experts, and Peter Attia. And, these people agree that you, Michael Arnstein, and by the way, me, Vinny Tortorich, is part of the 20 or somewhere between 20 and 30%. And everyone says, we can land right at around 25% of the people who can ingest that amount of sugar every day and not get fat. As we both know, even a lot of vegetarians end up getting fat because of the amount of sugar they eat. So, it's one man does not make an experiment. And I agree. People should, if people want to try it and do that and start eating that much fruit, give it a shot. But only 20 to 25% of people are going to actually succeed at that.
Listen, I think the limiting factor in why more people don't eat this way or try to eat this way is because they can't afford it. But I am dead sure that most people, not maybe everybody, but most people that eat nothing but raw fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit, will be extremely healthy, will not be heavy or fat at anything compared to the standard Western diet or even a paleo-based fat diet. And they can't do it because they can't afford it. It's too expensive. That's the bottom line.
Mike, if you look at some of the poor sections around the world where they eat no meat, they only eat vegetation in the forms of fruit, vegetables, grains, legumes, beans, and the whole thing, they're getting fatter and fatter and fatter. And by the way, this country is getting fatter and fatter and fatter because we're cutting
That's
fat
because we have
out.
all the processed foods.
Well, that too.
It's the greens.
Vinny, I think the comments you just made are ridiculous, and I completely disagree with them.
Okay, that's fine. You're saying that our poor people are getting fatter by the day?
The people that are getting fat are people that are eating fat.
Okay.
Well, then that's, yeah.
Well, I can say I disagree with that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. it's been proven over and over and over that when we went to a carb-based diet in this country back in the 70s, we started getting all kinds of diseases and we started gaining weight as a nation, and then we spread it around the world.
Vinny, the diet war is alive and well. If you're going to eat meat and fats and you want to believe in it, then that's fine. But I'd be, if you want to race anytime, we'll see who's the better athlete, and I'm sure that fruits and vegetables are going to win. It's what nature.
Now I feel like you're being a little defensive. I feel like we're trying to find common ground and promote.
I am.
You know what I mean? And I want to like.
It's ridiculous to say that a fat-based diet is healthier than a low-fat, high-water content fruit and vegetable-based diet.
He didn't say it was healthier than your diet. He said it was healthier than the processed foods diet.
He said that if you eat a lot of sugar, you're going to get really fat.
Yeah. Yeah, I just say that.
80%
of the population.
So we completely disagree.
Okay.
So you're saying that if 100% of the world just eat a lot of sugar, they're going to get thin? Is that where we are?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh.
And by the way, when we do this,
I thought you were saying if they were eating a fruit-based diet with some vegetables. That's what I thought you were saying.
No, he's saying that if you eat a lot of sugar, everyone's going to get thin.
Clarify, a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's where it's at. And fruits and vegetables are mostly carbohydrates.
And what kind of race are we going to do? Are we going to do it on bicycles or running?
Vinny, I'll take you down at any distance, buddy.
All right.
And that's because I'm going to weigh less and I'm going to be able to recover faster.
How much do you weigh right now?
125 pounds.
How tall are you?
5'4".
Okay, well, I think adjusted for size, I'm 6 feet tall and I weigh 168. Should I weigh? What should I weigh? Can we do that, man?
155.
Vinny, I grew up eating McDonald's, and I grew up, eating all kinds of foods. And even when I went through high school and I was running track, I started eating better, cleaner. And I'm telling you right now that my performance levels went to an entirely different level.
Well, we don't eat McDonald's. What are you talking about?
Nobody's
McDonald's?
talking about eating McDonald's here.
Well, all right. Well, a higher fat-based diet. All right. I'm just telling you that
McDonald's is not a healthy diet. No one's saying that.
Well, you said higher fat, and that's McDonald's.
McDonald's is high carb. If you do the math,
it's high fat and high carb. It's actually both.
It's high crap, is what it is.
Yeah, and high chemicals and high processed.
And it's full of processed, fats. We're not talking about that, Mike. I'm talking about healthy fats.
Yeah, I think it's important that you try a fruitarian diet before you pass judgment on it.
Okay, folks,
look,
we have 350,000 people that's going to hear this. Let's, folks, you want to go try yourself a fruitarian diet and give it a shot. Can we leave it at that?
Yeah.
I think that would be a great way for people to make their own determinations, but they should really try it well. They should read the book 80-10-10, and they should, do the research and learn how to eat it properly, not just
I will post a link to it. By the way, the 80-10-10, is that talking about the macros? Like 80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat?
That's correct.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that for everybody. Okay.
All right. So
thanks for coming on the show and taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do really, and you're welcome back whenever you want. If you ever want to come back on and
well, I think we have a race to plan. Can I be the lady who does the flag?
Oh yeah, baby. Mike, you speaking of fat, you should see Anna. She's pretty hot.
Well, let's not go that far.
When I say fat, I'm talking about that chest.
Listen, Vinny, to be fair, genetics play a big role in a lot of things, all right? I'm never going to be 6 foot tall.
Now he's saying it.
I'm never going to be able to run a 2:10 marathon, no matter, whatever diet I'm on. But I can tell you right now that I'm a guy who ate a standard American diet. I'm a guy who went into, a cleaner macrobiotic diet. I tried all kinds of diets. And when I ate and when I was able to afford to eat nothing but raw fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit, my performance levels went to an entirely different level.
And I think that's great. I think that's awesome that you found that. But you can't tell other people that they're wrong for eating their diet if that's what gives them their high performance level. You know what I mean? That's awesome that you did that.
I believe that we're as humans, we're a species that performs pretty similar on pretty similar diets. And I believe that if most people give themselves a chance to eat mostly fruit as a diet, they will experience dramatic changes in their body composition, in their physical performance, in their clarity of mind, and they'll also benefit their surroundings by eating a diet that's more compassionate and better for the planet. So I think it's a win-win all the way around. I think for the people that pass judgment on it that haven't tried it, are ignorant, and they really don't have something strong to stand on until they give it a shot. I don't sell books. I don't, do coaching. I've got absolutely not a single dollar.
Yeah, no, we know.
No,
yeah,
we realize that. Yeah,
we realize that. We just want you to be able to say your piece without having to feel like you have to defend it. We just want to talk to you about it. That's all.
We're trying to get to the bottom of it, and again, it seems
we support you. That's why we're having you on the show, because we felt like how Sanjay Gupta interviewed you was kind of lame, and he didn't ask you the questions that everyone's thinking when they're going, "Wow, fruitarianism, that seems crazy. What is he talking about?" Like he didn't go.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a chyron under someone's body on a show and it says this guy eats 30 pounds of fruit and vegetables a day and a horse only eats 22, you start saying to yourself, wait a minute, what gives? Why isn't Sanjay Gupta?
We need to talk to this guy.
Why isn't that guy asking the real questions?
And probably because it's CNN and they don't ask real questions on CNN.
And I was on that show for about a half an hour, but they cut it down to a few minutes. So,
yeah, well, that's what happens, unfortunately. That's in my entire acting career.
Well, Mike, can I ask you, did he ask you those kind of questions?
Oh, yeah, sure. We were talking for almost an hour. He was really, really interested, and he was intrigued tremendously by it. And I think a lot of people are. And for good reason, because how was I able to run Badwater 135 miles through the desert, and then 2 days later run the Vermont 100, and do both races at a high performance level? 235 miles in 6 days. And then the next weekend I'm running half marathons in an hour and 12 minutes.
Because you're that guy. It's the same reason Usain Bolt can run as fast. You could give Usain Bolt anything, he will still be that fast.
No, Usain Bolt is always that fast. I wasn't, Vinny. I wasn't that guy. That's the whole point.
But you were eating McDonald's. I mean, we can make this study go 5 different ways. You were eating crap and you went to a cleaner diet. I get that. But one person does not make a study. That's the point I like to make on the show all the time. Not that it's right, wrong, or otherwise, but one person does not make a study.
Vinny, I would think you should give yourself a chance to try to experience a different way of eating, and a fruit-based diet is something that wouldn't take a lot of your time. For a month, if you just ate nothing but fruits and vegetables, lots and lots of fruit. It would be interesting to see what would happen, and I would take your criticisms, in stride. But I think you should give it a shot rather than just poking fun at it. I've tried your diet,
Mike. I'm not poking fun. I think that's where you're. I think you think I'm poking fun at this, and I'm not. This is a serious show on some levels. I'm not out here to lie to people. We say at the top of every show, your good intentions have been stolen. We're trying to help you get them back. We're trying to help people do the right thing. This is not poking fun. I'm not trying to poke holes in you.
All right. Well, when you said sharks like to eat surfers and
well, that was
because that's comedy, Mike. I mean,
I get it. But when you tell me that I'm saying that people should just eat sugar all day, I mean, I didn't say sugar. I said people should eat.
That's
fruit.
What fruit is.
Yeah.
That's where sugar comes from. It comes from vegetation.
Yeah, but that's most people when they hear sugar, they don't think fruit, they think sugar. And I'm talking
right, and I'm the guy that tells people not to drink orange juice. I tell them if you want an orange, blend it up in a Vitamix and get the fruit and the fiber together so that you don't get a glycogen spike. Mike, you're one of those people that do not get a glycogen spike from sugar that causes you to gain weight. You're one of those people that could do it and lose weight. But not most people. Most people, if they ate the straight sugar without having the fiber in it.
And most people aren't exercising the way a machine like Mike
But even sans the exercise. Really.
I'm just saying.
Sans the exercise, most people can't do that.
Well, just to clarify, the only reason I juice the oranges and not eat them or blend them, and I would rather eat them, is just because just purely on a time restriction issue. I mean, I get up in the morning, I got to get to work. For me to eat 20 oranges is going to take a lot more time than if I just juice them really quickly. And what I want? I want the sugar because I'm getting out the door. I'm going to run 15 and a half miles to my office. I wasn't interested in I didn't have the time to sit down there and peel them. I just wanted the energy, and that's what gave me the ability to run to work every day. But I would agree, eating the oranges is better. It's wholer. It's more natural.
All right. Well, it seems like we're doing the same laps over and over. Mike, I want to thank you for coming on. This has been great, and Anna, do you think we've cleared up?
I think we've cleared up a lot. I think it's great that you came on the show, Michael. I really appreciate you being here.
And if we haven't cleared up anything else, I want to be clear. I wasn't here, Mike, to poke holes in you. I was here to figure out.
To get clarification.
Yeah, and you seemed like a sensible guy when you were in Sanjay Gupta, and you actually cleared that up for us, too, because I couldn't understand how the guy who almost became our Surgeon General wasn't asking you.
I know. Our beef was never with you. It was with Sanjay Gupta.
Yeah.
In Sanjay's defense, I mean, Sanjay doesn't work on the cutting room floor. I mean, the guy comes in, he's on a busy schedule. His editors are the people that cut the things down. He probably doesn't even see it until it goes live. So Sanjay asked me a lot of questions. Sanjay's a very, very smart guy. There's a reason why.
There's no doubt. But we were sitting there going, wait a minute. You know, as soon as I hear 30 pounds of fruit and vegetables, how often is this guy's crapping? How is he getting that much food in him? Because a horse eats around the clock to get that amount of food in him.
Yeah. Well,
Again,
and none of the blender wasn't mentioned, the juicing wasn't mentioned, none of that was mentioned. And
so that's why we want to talk to you in more detail.
Really kind of why we want to have you on. Not to sit here and poke holes in. Because, by the way, we have fruitarians who listen to this show.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, one thing to clarify is that not only do I take a lot of craps, but my crap doesn't stink, and that's important.
Oh, interesting.
So we finally met the man whose shit doesn't stink.
Yeah!
Ta-da! Show over.
Show over. Well, it's like when you have a baby and they start eating meat, that's when the crap starts sinking.
Yep.
Baby's poop doesn't smell bad when it's
and
just breast milk.
I mean it, honest to God, my shit does not stink, and it's.
Will you send us a sample, please? So we
just a small sample of your shit not stinking.
I don't.
I'm just kidding. Now people are going to send us their shit. Don't send us your shit.
Yeah, we get a lot of stuff. We don't want your shit.
Please don't send us your shit.
Well, when you eat a fruitarian diet, you don't have body odor, you don't have dry skin, you don't ever have bad breath. I almost have no mucus in my nose. I don't have boogers. I don't cough up, crap in the morning when I get out of bed. I don't even have crust in my eyes. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like it's the diet of the Garden of Eden. It's I really think you should try it, Vinny. I really do.
Mike, can I say something and then we'll wrap it up? Because I may consider trying this and I may go to you as being my coach. But wait, I got to tell you something, Anna. Do I ever smell?
No.
What do most people say about me?
You smell great.
That I never smell. Do I ever have bad breath? Tell the truth.
No.
Never bad breath.
No.
Right.
Never.
The comment people always make to me is, "What cologne do you wear?" And I don't wear cologne. I smell fresh all the time.
You do.
Even when I sweat, I come in here after long bike rides and runs and everything else. I never smell. People say, "Oh my God, your breath smells like you just brushed your teeth."
Now your shit, on the other hand, because I smell your shit all the time. Oh my God, it's fucking.
I can start wars on that shit. But Mike, I'm telling you, I eat some meat. I eat a lot of meat, and I eat a lot of fat, and I don't have odor.
But no sugar and no grains.
I eat no sugars, no grains.
Well, you just said your shit stinks. So what do you mean you don't have any odor?
Mike, that was a joke. I don't know if my shit smells like everybody else's shit. I'm assuming. I don't go around smelling everyone's shit.
Maybe you should.
My dog.
That's a new podcast.
Listen, I think it's something. It's a joke, but it's something to really think about. My shit really doesn't stink, and what does that say about what's going on the inside of my body?
That's great. No, I'm glad you said that. Maybe that will inspire.
I'm glad because it just became the title of this podcast.
Listen, if anybody is going to try the fruitarian diet from listening to this, please let us know and keep us posted. I want to hear about how your 30 days is going. Everything from your shit to how much you're spending on your grocery bills, and how you're feeling. Most importantly, if you're an athlete, if you're performing better, I want to know.
Yeah, me too.
I think fruitarianism has got a lot of growth, and I think you guys are going to want to talk about it and cover it more because it's interesting, and most importantly, it works. It really does. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody. If they do it the right way, I think it will work.
Well, Mike, I think you need to come to the forefront because I don't think Harley's doing your group a whole lot of favors.
No, he's not. And he talks about putting a lot of coconut sugar on his stuff, too.
And just eating dates around the clock and sugar. It
seems like...
Well, Vinny, I'll make a deal with you, Vinny, and I'm being totally serious.
Right.
Just listen to me for another 30 seconds. One of the things that's a real problem in eating this way is social isolation because it's not something that people identify with. It's not the way people want to eat. It's only for people that are really into trying to eat clean and who are trying to explore diet and to like off the deep end, so to speak. So what I did is I created something called the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and it's a summer camp that we rented out in August in upstate New York, and it's nonprofit. And what we do is we bring together upwards of 1,000 people this event for an entire 2 weeks. And what we do is we just eat raw fruits and vegetables in a summer camp with seminars and all types of things going on. And Vinny, I would invite you to come, and I will comp your entry if you want to come and experience eating a fruitarian diet for an entire week. And you can report, you can talk to the literally 1,000 people that will be there about how they feel eating this way. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to give it a shot. And I'll do that at no cost to you as the founder of the event.
You know what? I may consider doing it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it yet. I may consider it. And you know what I'll do? I'll take it one step further. I'll do blood work before I go and blood work after when I come back. I'll continue to diet on my return to
coming home.
Yeah, sure. When I go to get my blood work done again, I can have it tested.
Well, we'll have medical doctors there, Olympians, and people that have been doing this diet for over 40 years. So it's be a great experiment for you to check it out.
Now we're talking. We're uniting.
If I can make the dates work and it works in my schedule, I will consider. I can't say yes on the air right now because I just don't know. By the way, Anna, you know where I'm going tonight? I'm going into Topanga Canyon. Oh. And I'm going to someone's house for a birthday. And guess what they are?
Fruitarian.
Raw food.
Raw food.
Yeah.
Cool.
Total, every time. I have raw food friends. That's what I'm saying. I know people who do this. When I go to their house, I've eaten these meals.
Yeah.
And,
you're not like Don Imus calling to like
I'm not some
sweat people. But we do have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael Arnstein, for coming on the show.
And we could do the race there too, all right?
You would beat me in a foot race. I'm just not that fast.
All right, no race, but I'd be your friend, and I would be open to your very honest criticisms, and I really mean it. I think it would be a great opportunity for you to really test the diet, and also let your viewers know what you thought about it. And if it didn't work, then it doesn't work. But I think you should try it.
Is Rich Roll going to be there? Because I think he went to that last year, right?
I think Rich Roll is going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of other famous people, and hopefully Vinny's going to be there, and it won't cost you a penny. I'll comp your entry, which is going to be about $1,200.
If you guys can find this common ground, $1,200.
Yep.
Really?
I just did a double take. Did you hear that?
What?
That's a generous offer.
It costs about $1,200 to come for the week, and some people come for 2 weeks, and I will comp your entry if you want to come and report and experience the diet.
You know, I will, and Anna will tell you, I'm as honest as you can get. I will not go there and goof on anyone.
Being.
I'm not that guy. You know,
I think, listen, go to the website, thewoodstockfruitfestival.com.
Say that again, the Woodstock what festival?
Fruit Festival.
Woodstock Fruit Festival, but...
It's not a gay event, Anna. It's about fruitarians.
And there's kids there. There's families that eat this way. I mean, there's a whole underground community of people that eat nothing but raw fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit, and that are doing extremely well. I think it would be really fascinating for you to experience it yourself and also be able to get access to these people.
Yeah, right, well, I might even bring if I do it, I'll bring my buddy from Topanga Canyon with me. Oh, yeah. He'd love to do that.
Anyone from Topanga Canyon would be in heaven.
Yeah. Do you know the whole Topanga Canyon gang, Mike? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, I'm not familiar with it, unfortunately.
It's a lot of patchouli oil in that
as my
area.
father-in-law would say, it's a hippie enclave.
Yeah, it's nothing but very wealthy hippies that live in, because you got to be wealthy just to be in Topanga.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most beautiful places in L.A.
It's right outside of Malibu.
All right, this
event is the largest of its kind. Like I said, there'll be about 1,000 people there, and it's Wait,
1,000 times 1,200 carry to one? He's making $1 million.
Vinny likes to. You're a billionaire, Michael. You're a billionaire.
No. This event is over $1 million budget, and it's just under $1 million budget.
If Vinny and Michael have just found common ground, which they have, there can be peace in the Middle East. And on that note, we're going to wrap it up.
All right, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Mike.
All right, cheers. Bye.
All right, so Anna.
Just wrap it up. We got to go.
I mean, how long have we been on the air?
An hour and 10 minutes. I'm so fucking over this. And we have to Skype Villa Capelli right now.
Oh, we do?
But not on the air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Villa Capelli. Oops. Villa Capelli, folks, listen.
Go to VinnyTortorich.com, buy some Villa Capelli, click on the banner ad, put the discount code Vinny, VINNIE, and you'll get 10% off, and it's delicious and it's amazing. And if you are a new listener as of this episode, go back and listen to every other episode because we talk about Villa Capelli olive oil.
Okay, I need to thank a lot of people. There was the great Reverend, what's his name?
Andrew Weaver.
Andrew Weaver. Benito
Mussolini.
Mussolini. We have Michael Arnstein, the great Michael Arnstein.
The great.
That's Anna Vocina, folks. My name is Vinny Tortorich. Put life into living and try not to crap your pants.
Check out more podcast episodes on iTunes. Follow Vinny and Anna on Twitter or contact us with your fitness questions at VinnyTortorich.com.
Thank you for listening to Fitness Confidential. Get more information at VinnyTortorich.com. Remember to rate and review us on iTunes and follow Vinny on Instagram and Twitter.